So we've come out of Waterloo Station at the South Bank entrance, and you can now tell how close we are to the South Bank, because there in its glory is the London Eye, rotating very slowly, giving those on the 32 capsules a great view of London as it goes round. So this is a little cut through, and it's one of those places, Waterloo, that you don't tend to think of when you're coming to, well, the South Bank and Westminster. And then when you sneak through here, through this part, then you come up by the Jubilee Gardens. Now, we've got videos on the Jubilee Gardens which we've covered previously. I'm not going to put a link to that in the top right hand corner, but this is the place that's been opened twice by the Queen. And it also had the National Exhibition here in 1948. But as you can see, it's a great meeting place on a summer's day. Nice ice cream van, but also amazing views from up there across London. Although, to be quite honest, South Bank is worth just coming to on its own anyway. Right, let's go through the park. And then we're going to go over across the Thames. And we'll head our way into central London. And the thing I love about this route is doing it is so close that you don't need to get a train and keep changing, etc. to get around. This route will be in Trafalgar Square in less than 10 minutes, but also it gives you amazing views as well. And in a second we'll see Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament, all from the Golden Jubilee Bridge, which we've also covered before. Now, this is a Sunday. Yes, I had. It's a Sunday. It might be summer, but wow. People know a good place when they find it. Now, we're going to have some music going on. Because also, this is a fairly good area for street entertainment. So what we got on, let's have a look round. It looks like someone's preparing for something. What we'll do, yes, someone's got, I don't know if you can see, they've got the limbo pole out. Nothing going on though, they're waiting for a crowd to turn up. Just over there.
Yeah, the show's about to begin now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to start the show now. Alright, don't worry. Okay, now everybody who wants to see the show, just stay right behind the room. We have the show.
He's getting ready for his show, as you can tell. Right. Oh, let's have a first view up and down the Thames. Love it. Tide's out. And here we are on the South Bank. And then you've got the view, there we go. Straight over to Big Ben. Let's just zoom in on that for you. Which is lovely. Now 20 past 6 is the time on there if you're straining to see that. Oh, I love it. And then as we swing around the Thames, boats going underneath the Golden Jubilee Bridge, also known as the Hungerford Bridge. And what we'll do is we'll now walk up that way. Now, as you can tell, for summer, in winter this lot sort of disappears, but in summer it's a hive of activity down here. Really is. They've really built it back up again. Almost reminds me of Christmas when we came down here and filmed the Christmas fair. Candy floss. And it looks like they've got that food area open again, which they had open at Christmas, which you could go into. Yep, they have. So you can get in there. And they've also got the frozen yogurt bus in operation as well. Right. Let's just have a quick look under the bridge and see if there's anything going on under here. Because at Christmas, yes, they have more food outlets, hot dogs and burgers. There you go. So if you're coming down here, you are not going to be stuck for food. I don't know about the quality of it and how much it will be, but there you go, that's a different thing. Right, let's go up this bridge. By the way, if you're coming up here and you need accessibility, the good news is there is a lift available, so you can get it, take that to the top. And as we climb, let's give you a view across. Right, that reminds me, over here, you'll be able to see that's just gone through City Cruises, which is a good way of seeing the Thames. And they'll give you a guided tour, etc., of what you're seeing as you're going through. Now, they can be quite costly, and if you want to do that under your own steam, we have a video on that, and you can get the Thames bus, or the river bus, also known as the Uber bus, which you can just tap in and tap out with your debit card, and you can get the same views. You don't get the commentary, but you do get the same beautiful views at not much of the price. Now, oh, there we go, there's the Uber boat even as we speak. Do you know what, this is just one of those places you could stay at for hours. And the Uber boat takes you from Battersea all the way around and through to North Greenwich. So it does a massive part of the Thames, but it does the, what I would classify as the really interesting bit of the Thames. And if you've got time, then definitely do that. And the good news with that as well is you can sit outside, if it's a nice day like it is today, at the back and take in the scenery. You just got to choose which side of the boat. And if it's not too busy, then you can move from one side to the other. Right, what we'll do is let's go to the middle. Now, this is probably the busiest I think I've ever seen the bridge. Yep, that is busy. Everyone's out for a Sunday afternoon stroll. Oh, I like it. Don't miss out on the opportunity to sell something. So the bridge you're looking at down there towards the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben is Westminster Bridge, and that's a green coloured bridge that represents the House of Commons. And there's another bridge just beyond that which is Lambeth Bridge, and that's painted red, which represents the colour of the upholstery in the House of Lords. The sound you can hear behind me is a train coming into Charing Cross, because this bridge has pedestrian access on both sides of, yes, the main line into Charing Cross Station. The other thing to be aware of, when it's a windy day, it can be quite breezy up here. But actually it's lovely and refreshing. Okay, let's carry on a little bit more. There you go, you've got London Eye River Cruises as well. You've got all sorts of river cruises available, so if you've got the money, go for it, because you'll get a great guided tour. If not, and you're thinking about budget, definitely go for the Uber bus, which I showed you earlier, which is well worth it. As you can see, sometimes these cruises aren't overly that busy, so you may well be able to get a good reduced price. Okay, let's continue our walk across the Golden Jubilee Bridge. So this side is the side that faces towards Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, down towards Battersea, and then through the west side of London and out. As you can see, you can get a variety of transport coming across the bridge, so just be aware of that. Okay, and also it's always a good photo op getting the Millennium Eye, London Eye right behind you. And there we go, and here's the view round. So we're going to continue our walk. Once again, you've got a lift to get down if you need that. And we're going to walk down the stairs, and this is going to take you to the bottom of Northumberland Avenue. Now, if you have got time whilst you're here, then there's a great little park which you can go to, which is over there, and we've covered that in a previous video as well. There are a number of hidden parks along the embankment here in London, just by the side of the Thames, so it's well worth going down. Also, if you're looking at this green hut in front and thinking, what is that? That is an old cabbie's hut, and there's a number of them still around, but they were used to be only for cab drivers, so they could get food, refreshments, etc. Stop up by the side of it, get food and refreshments before getting on their way and getting more lifts to take here, there and everywhere. Right, let's start our journey up Northumberland Avenue, and right in front of us you're looking at what's known as the Kit Kat Club. Now this is the Playhouse Theatre, and at least until November later this year in 2022 they've transformed the whole place into a sort of nightclub. The whole place is the Playhouse Theatre, and it's had many different plays on over the many years it's been open, but they've turned the whole thing into a cabaret, and apparently it's a redone version of cabaret. Now, if you're coming to London and you want to stay in a 5-star hotel, this is probably one of them. This is the Corinthian Hotel, which is at least 5-star. It will cost you an absolute fortune. It will put you on Northumberland Avenue right by the embankment, and also it's very quick and easy to get up to Trafalgar Square, as you're going to see. You'll also notice on these walks you can see these bikes. Now these bikes are available to hire, and actually if you want to hire them for the day you can hire them for £2 per person, providing you don't use them for more than half an hour in a go. And as long as you put them back within the half an hour, wow, you can take them time and time and time again during the course of the day. Oh, by the way, and that's 24 hours as a day. Now, the road here at Northumberland Avenue was built on the site of the former Northumberland House, which was the London home of the Percy family, which were the Dukes of Northumberland, between 1874 and 1876. Interestingly, and it's kept this now, the street when it was built was designed for luxury accommodation, including the 7-storey Grand Hotel, the Victoria and the Metropole. Now, if you're a big fan of fiction and London-based fiction, you're going to want to come here. This is the Sherlock Holmes pub, and it's a Victorian-era themed public house here on Northumberland Street, which is, of course, just down the road from Charing Cross railway station. As you can see, it's a beautiful pub in its own right, but people come here because they've got a whole large collection of memorabilia relating to the fictional detective Sherlock Holmes. So, if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan and you want to come and see some of the memorabilia, I would say that pub is definitely got to be on your list. And I understand not only do fantastic drink, but also fantastic food as well. Right, you can also see the buses all stop down here. So when they go to Trafalgar Square or Northumberland Avenue, this is where they stop. So it's easy to pick up a bus from here as well. And actually, right at the top here, we're about to come into Trafalgar Square. So it's only a very small street, but it's one of those streets that, Well, you see it on the Monopoly board if you play the London version of it, and you think, oh, that's got to be a big place. It's not. Right, hope you're enjoying the walk, and it's giving you a bit of a feel for central London if you're going to come up here and do this walk as well. It's a great thing to do because you're going to see different sights. Now, before we get to Trafalgar Square, I must ask you, if you're enjoying the video, please do give us a big thumbs up. That will help YouTube to spread this video out to more people so that they can love London as well. As we take the evening stroll, here is Trafalgar Square, the unmistakable National Gallery at the far end, the fountains going, and quite often when you come up here there will be different events being held in the square, so it's always worth just checking out to see what's going on. Here we're looking at Admiralty Arch, which is the entranceway to the Mall, which leads of course down to Buckingham Palace. And here we're looking down the Strand towards Charing Cross Station. Now, the flags you see up are up because it's the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So, for quite a lot of this summer, a lot of the flags have been left up and about to celebrate that fact. Now, if you're coming up here and there are events on at Trafalgar Square, nearly all of them are free, but sometimes you do need to get tickets beforehand or queue to get in, so it's definitely worth checking it out. Now, this one is the West End Theatre Live, where they had a weekend where they had a whole load of free performances from a lot of the different West End theatres. More recently, for the Lionesses, that's the women's football for the UEFA Cup, they set up a lot of temporary screens here so people could come and watch. And of course, the day after the Lionesses won the UEFA Cup, they set up a big stage so that they could come and celebrate with the public. Now, one thing to warn you, just be aware of the crowds. Remember, this is a Sunday evening, and look how busy it is now. So just bear that in mind. Now, another great thing about Trafalgar Square is it never sleeps, and there's always something going on, including when I went here and walked through a big sort of dance class going on with loads and loads of people taking part, and it looked like it was a freebie. So if you fancy exercising and strutting your stuff, you never quite know what's going to be going on. And it was just a couple of people turned up impromptu and doing this with the public. I'd just like to confirm I did not take part. Can you imagine? Also, what's incredible is one day you could come down here and you've got all of this stuff all set up in Trafalgar Square. You can come down the next morning and it's all completely gone. They really do move stuff through this square very, very quickly. Right, time to move away from Trafalgar Square, and as we do, we're going to cross over the road. Now, this road is eventually going to take us into the Charing Cross Road, but before we get there, these steps lead up to St Martin in the Fields. Now, St Martin's in the Field is the big church that overlooks Trafalgar Square and is in the north-east corner. Now it's free to go in, and you are asked if you'd like to make a donation, so it's open most of the time, especially on a Sunday evening. There'll be services, etc. going on. But this place has one big secret, which is this place here, which is London's Hidden Cafe. Now, as you can see, it's closed up at this time, and we have got previous videos on this place, but there's a cafe which is right underneath in the crypt of St Martin in the Field. So if you get a chance to go there, it is one heck of a brilliant cafe to go to. There's also other things happening down there as well, including brass rubbings and various bits of history. So it's one of those places that's hidden right by Trafalgar Square that not many people know about. And this place gives you a great photo opportunity back over Trafalgar Square. Now, the reason we're doing this walk is because we're on what's called the Charing Cross Road, which takes us from Charing Cross, which we've just walked past, all the way up to Tottenham Court Road. The road is just one of those central roads in London people use to get from one place to the other. And that's the point, and this is why I like this road so much, because by going up and down this road you can get to various parts of the West End, because sort of everything leads off it, and we'll show you. Now, here under construction is the National Portrait Gallery, which is due to open at some point soon, but no one quite knows when, and they've been renovating it for quite some time. But when it is reopened, it's quite a place to come and have a look at the different portraits, some of which are extremely old. So when it does reopen, we'll make sure we get down there and shoot a video as well. What you'll notice as we go up the Charing Cross Road now is there are a number of theatres. So actually you could well come to this area if you're going to one of the theatres in London. As I said earlier, this is one of those great roads that links so many different places. And as you walk up here and on the right, if you go down that road, you're in Leicester Square. Yes, you just go down there, no more than about 20 or 30 metres, and you're right in Leicester Square. The first theatre we come up to is this one. This is the Garrick Theatre. Now, it's one of the smaller London theatres, seating only 732 people, but it opened back in 1889. So we've been to Trafalgar Square, to Leicester Square, and we're now going to walk up the Charing Cross Road. That's the Garrick Theatre we've just passed. And then we're going to come to another entrance in a minute to Leicester Square, which will be on the left hand side, past the Hippodrome and past Leicester Square Tube Station. Now, because it's Sunday, all the theatres are closed, which is why I was expecting it to be a lot quieter up here, because when it's theatre time of an evening, Monday to Saturday, it's normally packed. Oh, Gordon Ramsay's street burger. I dare say he's in there swearing at someone. Right, now let's go through here. This is the Wyndham's Theatre. Great thing also is you've got all these little lovely side streets. Most of them have got sort of restaurants in, the round table, so it's worth sort of hunting out for those. I can't believe I think I've walked past Cecil Court, which is another one of those lovely little side streets that takes you from St Martin's Lane. That's St Martin's Court. Leicester Square Tube Station. Right, down that direction, no more than about 200 metres, is Covent Garden Tube Station. Over in that direction you've got Leicester Square. So that is down there. But we're going to carry on walking up the Charing Cross Road, because Charing Cross Road does really interconnect a lot of the different places in London. So Trafalgar Square, off to Covent Garden on the right, Leicester Square on the left, and then also on the left hand side, be coming up very shortly, and let's give you a clue. See the lanterns there? Yeah, Chinatown. That is on the left hand side there as well. As you go down. So to get to Chinatown, you've got that one before, or you've got this road, which is Newport Court, which we covered when we came up here for Chinese New Year. Now, as we come up the Charing Cross Road, they put scaffold up since I've last been up here. But Charing Cross Road was renowned and is renowned in part to old bookshops. Karen, if you're watching this from the east coast of America, yep, they've still got different types of bookshops. This is the Any Amount of Books, the Charing Cross Road bookshop, and there's a number more of them as we come. There's more of them even as we come down here. The queue here looks like that's for... it smells gorgeous actually. Over on the other side you've got all various shops, and if you're a Harry Potter fan, there's a shop over there called House of Spells, which you're definitely not going to want to miss if you're a Harry Potter fan. Another bookshop here, Henry Pord's. There used to be a lot more in the way of bookshops down here. A lot of them are turned into sort of cafes and bars and restaurants, etc. Now, as we cross over, so if you're Google mapping whilst we're doing this walk, we've just crossed over Lichfield Street, and as we've crossed over Lichfield Street, we're now walking to Cambridge Circus. Now, Cambridge Circus has been the home for many years for the play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is playing over there, just behind the bus. And here we're at Cambridge Circus. Now this is where the Charing Cross Road intersects with Shaftesbury Avenue. So Shaftesbury Avenue and a lot of the main theatres are down there. If you follow that down, 5-minute walk, you're at Piccadilly Circus. See? Charing Cross Road is those little wonders of sort of get to all the other places in London very, very quickly. Now, down this part of Shaftesbury Avenue, it leads you down towards Holborn. That's me fighting again with a police car. That takes you down towards Holborn. Very nice, Lamborghini. I couldn't tell that by the sound, and I'm not a car aficionado, but I could read the badge on the back of it, which is rather handy. So, yeah, down Shaftesbury Avenue that way, that takes you down towards Holborn. It also takes you down to the Forbidden Planet, which I know a lot of people who watch this channel love. And the road that we're now showing you here, which I'll zoom in on, that road, which is Earlham Street, if I remember rightly. I'll confirm that in the text down below. That takes you to Seven Dials, and Seven Dials you can just see beyond the bunting. It's no more than a 1-minute walk from where we are. So we're here, this is Charing Cross, this is Cambridge Circus. And also if you're going to dive into Soho, then that is your way into Soho there. That takes you to Old Compton Street. That's where Harry Potter's playing, at the Shaftesbury Avenue. And we'll carry on walking down Charing Cross Road. So that's Old Compton Street itself. It'll take you into the heart of Soho. We've got a great video on things to do, or places to go in Soho. Some beautiful places, even including a tucked away park that only the locals really know.
Don't go for me.
Now as we're going up Charing Cross Road, you can see all the buses. Now, this is Phoenix Street. You've got a theatre here, but Phoenix Street, and there's a garden at the end, which is an extremely secret garden. It's a public garden, which you can go to, tucked away in the middle of the West End. And it's definitely what I would call the Phoenix Garden. It's a secret garden that not many people know about. So if you're walking along this way, once again, Charing Cross Road leads you to so many places. Now on the other side, wait for these buses to go. Oh, that's very considerate of them. You've got Foyle's Bookshop, which has been here for many, many years. So Foyle's Bookshop. We're going to go to two massive bookshops in London and spend your time in them, not just second-hand ones and looking at books, but if you're going to go, then you've got this one here, Foyle's on Charing Cross Road, and you've got Waterstones on Piccadilly. And one thing you do have to be really careful here is with the traffic, because they keep changing what this road does. Last year it was all one way, now it's two-way, so you have to be very, very mindful of what the traffic is doing, so just do pay attention when you're coming down here. Bus is clear. Don't do as I do, whatever you do. Wait for that green man on the traffic lights. Now this area of Tottenham Court Road has been redeveloped quite extensively. As you can see, the development is still going on, but it's now getting into the final stages. And the main reason for that is they dug up so much of it because the new Elizabeth line goes under here, because we're at Tottenham Court Road. So Charing Cross Road has led us all the way from Trafalgar Square. Let's just recap on that. Trafalgar Square, then you've got St Martin's in the Fields, you've got Covent Garden off to the right hand side, Leicester Square off to the left hand side, Chinatown, Soho off to the left side, Shaftesbury Avenue, Piccadilly Circus to the left side, Seven Dials off to the right side. It really is a road that interconnects so much. And here we're at Tottenham Court Road, which is the top of the Charing Cross Road, because this is the part where it then goes into the Tottenham Court Road, which then takes you all the way up to the Euston Road. And that is the boundary of Regent's Park. Oh, and by the way, because we're at Tottenham Court Road, this of course intersects with Oxford Street. So on the right side you have New Oxford Street, which goes down towards Holborn, and that Holborn is probably a 5-minute walk. And here, down this way, you have Oxford Street. And of course, if you've had enough of your walking, you've got Tottenham Court Road Station, which is on the Central, the Northern, and also the Elizabeth line. So you can zoom around London quite easily. Oxford Street for you. And what a way! How quiet's that? Sunday evening, everything's closed. Oxford Street looks at peace. And that's where we've come from, down the Charing Cross Road.